Hello all sentient beings and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to thee. On this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, we review, oh for the love of Equestria, we review My Little Pony Transformers 2 Issue 2. We talk about an upcoming War for Cybertron soundtrack, and we have some Transformers 7 movie news to talk about. Today is Friday, June 18th, 2021, and this is episode 238 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that's paid its debt to society, so no further questions, please. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
The amazing Epic.
Hello.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
How's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
All right, as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you for continuing to support us. If you'd like to become a Donatreon, if you're not already, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's where you can find links to support us either on Patreon or PayPal. And thanks for helping out. One of the perks of being a Donatreon is that you get access to our Empire of Rust episodes early, and that one, episode 52, came out early this week, so you should already have access to it. That's either on our Patreon page or on the Donatreon Dropbox link. But if you are a regular listener to Empire of Rust, that episode will be out this Monday, June 21st. So this is episode 52, Spongin 2, the second story. And so this continues the big battle that's ending this season of Empire of Rust. And it looks like we're coming around to finishing up the second year of Empire of Rust. So episode 52 marks the end of the second year of Empire of Rust podcasts. So it's cool. Enjoy. All right, let's jump right into comics news. All right, in comics news, first up, we've got another cover. This is a retailer incentive cover from a longtime Transformers artist and fan, Dan Kana. And this is for issue 5 of Transformers Escape, which should be out July 7th, according to the latest estimates. So Dan Kana is, I really like his art style. And yeah, he's been a fan artist in Transformers, well known for a while. So it's cool to see him getting more official work. And, he does, I think his style is very similar to like Guido Guidi and has a very nice G1-esque vibe to it. And, so this cover looks really cool. All right. And, next bit of news. We've been following the financial situation with IDW for a while and seeing how things are going there. But we got some. This is, I would say, this is troubling news from IDW about their leadership. And Jeremy, I'm going to ask you to explain this because this looks kind of bad to me, but maybe I don't know if you have any other thoughts on this. So go ahead.
Yeah. So Bleeding Cool had a story up on June 11th about IDW. They appointed William Raffagal as executive chairman last year, and I'm not sure why this is coming up now and not then, but apparently he, in 2013, was ousted as leader for the Metropolitan Council on Jewish Poverty in New York after financial irregularities were discovered by their board of directors, and then he was then arrested on charges of grand larceny and money laundering, and he pled guilty, and he went to jail. He got a 3 to 10 year prison sentence and had to repay $3 million to the charity. He was released he spent 14 months in jail, then went to a minimum security prison. And in 2017, he was released, and he is still under parole until 2024. And now he's also the executive chairman of IDW Media, which I'm sure bodes well for IDW and their shaky financial situation. So, according to this, IDW didn't respond to any requests as they wouldn't. But this is like literally just, you expect Bleeding Cool to like put their own spin on stuff. And this is pretty much just all this happened. Here are the links to all the facts. And I don't know what IDW is thinking. I mean, he doesn't seem to have much of a comic background anyway. Not that I'm sure you really need one, but when you're an executive at that level, but money laundering is kind of a big red flag to me. Someone I would not want to be chairman of my company. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. I mean, they already they've gone through so many changes in leadership over the last 2 years, but
so basically he did money laundering somewhere else, but IDW's hired him, and that's why would you have a leadership person hired who's done these things?
Yeah, he did money laundering in 2013.
Okay. Yeah.
He was sentenced in 2014, got out of jail in 2017, still under parole, and IDW hired him last year as executive chairman.
Interesting.
For a job title such as executive chairman, though, you'd think that they would have some kind of background check done. He would have to disclose that he's under parole, right?
And he might have. I mean, this this is all public knowledge in terms of the links in here.
I mean, if you Google William Rapfogel, you would probably find this this information out, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's all out there. I just wonder why it's not when they announced him. I don't remember seeing anything about he has, as Charles said in the intro, served his debt and is moving on. But I don't know. Stealing.
Is there any evidence that he was good at his job before?
Well, I mean, he was good at stealing money.
I mean, this one.
No, he got caught. He was bad at it.
Yeah, apparently he actually stole $9 million. He had to pay back $3 million.
Oh, good. Okay.
That's. I mean, IDW is not doing well already, and I don't know. I would be hesitant to have anyone associated with something like money laundering, because I would be afraid they would use my company as something like that in the future, even if they're not. And this goes on to kind of make me think that IDW is going to be bought in the next couple of years by either DC or Marvel. And I wonder if it'll be all in the up and up with someone like him as executive chairman.
Speaking of all of this here, I mean, you brought this up and we were talking about it, a couple of days ago, and I mentioned to you that I had been following these IDW's stock, and that it at the time was $4 a share. It had a 52 week high of $51 a share, which, that's nothing to sneeze at, but that was back, not 52 weeks. That was their all time high back in February of 2017.
Yeah. As of this recording, they're at $3.65.
Yes, they have continued to fall. At what point do you think they'll have to get to before they get bought? I mean, I'm not a financial whiz, Jeremy, so this is a question I got to pose to you. What, will they go down to zero? What happens to companies here if their stock just keeps falling?
I'm not sure. I mean, they're due to report their second quarter results on the 14th, which is the day after we record this. So we'll talk about it next week. I don't know. I mean, their TV stuff continues to drag them down based on the previous.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Lock and Key was one bright shining thing they had with their Netflix show, but I don't know. I mean, the comic side always still, if you take the TV stuff out, I think the comic stuff is actually either breaking even or making a little bit of profit.
I mean, they got to be making a killing on the Turtle stuff right now.
Yeah, you have the Turtle stuff and you have the Marvel stuff that they're doing. And if I were Disney, I would be approaching them to buy all of their comic side of things and keep it as its own entity because they clearly know how to do the like kid focused stuff, the Marvel action, Star Wars adventures, all those things. And Marvel clearly doesn't. So, I mean, I would keep IDW as its own, subsidy or subsidiary, but I think in the next year or two, we're going to see something like that happen. And with all the ties that they have to Marvel already, that I would not be surprised if it was, Disney/Marvel that did it.
I just, I agree with you that IDW can definitely do the kids stuff. But I mean, they'd be looking at IDW Holdings as a whole, and
right.
The comic stuff is a very small piece of that pie, right?
Well, it is, but it is seemingly the most competently run. I mean, right. I don't know. I mean, I know the TV stuff is expensive to make, but if it were me, I mean, I would just from our perspective, it seems to me like they're just throwing away money toward chasing the TV stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like that. The way I see it, Disney's already got a comics company, so they wouldn't be looking at it as a, we're going to buy this as a, as a comics company. They'd look at it as their, what kind of properties would they get out of this deal? And IDW doesn't have a lot of really great properties, right? Lock and Key is good, but
Kanto has been doing good. It's creator owned, but
that's true. And it's also, but Lock and Key is something. They've got the TV show for is the Winona Earp still going?
I'm not sure. I think it is,
because that was also very good for their media side. But other than that, IDW doesn't have any of their own properties, that are
right.
any good. That's been their whole thing, right? They just license it out and then make some stuff for that.
I mean, they're good stewards of a lot of licensed content, and
yeah, unfortunately, that kind of stuff can be found elsewhere. Maybe for less money. Disney may not have to buy a company to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, they're already doing, like, in addition to those Marvel things, they're publishing the Walt Disney comics.
It's true. Yep.
So I mean, there is a long kind of relationship there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our business news.
Yeah, the things continue to stay tangled at IDW Media, I guess, but hopefully the comics keep coming.
Eventually.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that leads us into our comic review for this week.
Yes, and we are looking at My Little Pony Transformers, The Magic of Cybertron, issue number 2. All right, so we have 3 covers this week. Cover A is by Tony Fleeks, and I think it goes along with a cover he did for issue 1, where this is like Starscream and what were the ponies called? The Wonderbolts, kind of an action pose as they're flying upwards to the right of the page. Cover B is by Bethany McGuire Smith. This is Windblade, looks like Chromia, Optimus, Rainbow Dash, and some other ponies. Looks like Rainbow Dash and Windblade are flying around. Retailer Incentive is by Adam Bryce Thomas, and it has Starscream, like a giant Starscream, playing with his little My Little Pony toys as Megatron is looking on in the background. Out of those, Epic, let's start with you. Which one of these is your favorite?
I actually really love the Retail Incentive one. I just thought it was a cute concept of him playing with the ponies. Well, he should probably be doing something more important. But yeah, that was the one that caught my eye.
Cool. Charles, how about you?
I am also going to pick the Retail Incentive cover. I think that's really cute. And Starscream's expression is great there.
Yeah, he's got the little tiny brush. All right. And Daryl, how about you?
I mean, this is a given. The RI cover is just awesome. The little cutie mark on Starscream's shoulder. He's just right into playing with his ponies. It's awesome. And Megatron looking, coming in the door behind him. This is, I believe when we were talking about this before, it's an homage to that Spaceballs scene So
Oh, yeah.
it's just great, you know.
Cool. Well, I will make it unanimous. I think it's a really fun cover. So sadly, my store had already sold it. I was trying to get that this week. All right. There are 2 stories in this book, much like last time. The first story is called Stunt Flying. This is written by Ian Flynn, art by Priscilla Tramontano, colors by Joanna LaFuente, letters by Jake M. Wood, and editor is Megan Brown. Consulting editor is David Marriott. So the pony Cybertronian resistance is preparing to strike back. Cybertron is leading his seekers, and under duress, the Wonderbolts and Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash counters Starscream's grumbling with a few quick-witted retorts as they reach their target, the mind-controlled Cybertronians and ponies that are now shooting at them. Starscream orders the squadron to blast them, but the others don't want to hurt their friends and argue that they can't break the mind control if they're all dead. Rainbow Dash has an idea, though. She suggests that the Wonderbolts do one of their stunt routines as a distraction while the Seekers are getting in close, and then they'll drop bombs that release Energon netting. The plan works, and Starscream is elated, and he's sure that everyone will be showing their thanks to him as their savior when he hears Thundercracker cheering for Rainbow Dash. That's the end of the first story. The second story is called One Trick Pony. This is written by Sam Maggs, art by Trish Forstner, colors by Luis Antonio Delgado, letters by Neil Yukitake, editor is Megan Brown, consulting editor is David Marriott. In this one, Applejack is wandering the desolate rust seas of Cybertron, following the sun in hopes that it will lead to some sort of civilization. She encounters Wild Will, who is not happy to see someone trespassing on his property. She apologizes, but he doesn't care. After a stare down, the two draw their respective whips. Before they can do anything, however, they hear another voice talking about Sombra, and they both crack their whips against this newcomer. After a few compliments on their respective skills, the tension returns, and Wild Will flings out his whip. Applejack thinks that she's done for, but she realizes that she's uninjured. She hadn't noticed skids coming up behind her, and that was the target of the attack. Wild Will tells her that these mind-controlled people keep showing up. Then he offers to help her find her way home, and that she's earned his respect. So these are both 2 fun short stories. I thought the art was fine in both of them. I think I preferred the art in Stunt Flying because Priscilla is, she's drawn Transformers much longer, and all the characters looked really good. But I think the art in the other one by Trish Forstner, I think it was good. I mean, you only had a couple Transformers, but that was cool. And bringing in that Wild Will from the Cyberverse series, that was something I wasn't really expecting. I did see, I was confused a bit, and I had to read the wiki entry to kind of see what was going on in that second story for exactly when the mind control bots came in. It just, the timing of the page wasn't really laid out very clear to me. But other than that, I thought it was a fun story. I mean, we're not expecting a huge kind of in-depth canon shaping thing out of the series. It's just supposed to be fun, and I thought it was both stories. So, Daryl, let's start with you. What were your thoughts on these 2?
Well, I liked them both. They were both fun. I agree that the art's probably better in the first story, but not by much. I mean, they're both very well drawn. I was trying to figure out whether the first story is in line with what happened in the first book, if there's any continuation.
Yeah, I think it is. Because
it's been a while since we read the first book, and I didn't really go back to read it again. And I don't know these Wonderbolts, whether we were introduced to them last time or not. I don't recall if they are.
They were in the first book.
Okay. So I probably should have read the first book again, but I didn't. And it's been a while. So, but I liked it. I liked that, they did their own thing. They convinced the Decepticons not to kill everybody. And then Starscream being Starscream and, getting his comeuppance. The second one, I thought, you know what? Is this probably the first appearance of Wild Wheel in comics? Because I don't think
so.
we've ever seen him before in anything, and that's kind of fun.
As a collector of first appearances, there you go.
There you go. Yeah. So, and I also liked the tumbleweeds as being just knots of wires. That was kind of fun. Yeah, just a lot of fun in the story, but they're not, like you said, there's no real big canon, shaping moments, and that's exactly what this book is supposed to be. I had no idea where Skids came from. I was confused by, like, did he just kind of teleport in or what?
That was my impression.
Okay. And then how Wild Wheel steps on Quick Strike, is he just there because he's a snake kind of scorpion guy in the desert? Is that why he's there?
Yeah, no, Quick Strike was the one that they attacked with the whips.
Oh, okay.
Both of them. That's where I was kind of confused.
Gotcha.
And then just as they're walking away, he just kind of steps on like they would step on a snake.
Right. See, you never see Quick Strike standing up. He's always on the ground. So that's why the art kind of, I would have done it a little differently if I, could have laid it out. But yeah, I was a little confused about Skids and where he came from. And yeah, they're fun stories, and they're not meant to be taken too seriously. And here I am being real serious about them. So, but they're fun, and that's exactly what they were supposed to be.
Epic, what were your thoughts?
The first story for me, I just found myself like wanting to get through it. I didn't feel entertained, I guess, by it. It didn't really catch me. But the second one, I actually really enjoyed because, funnily enough, I actually spent the weekend watching some Westerns. So I really love this Western theme of it. And I thought it was really fun, the like showdown, and then ended up working out and him wanting to help and stuff, So I found myself enjoying the second story much more this time than the first story. I mean, I know the first story is like moving along, what's going on, but somehow it just like, I don't know. I just felt like not much actually happened for how much story I feel like I like read through, if that makes sense. Just, I don't know. So, but the artwork on both of them is really cool. I think the artists did a really great job. As always with these ones, they do a good job of walking the line of keeping the ponies cute and colorful like they're supposed to be, but the robots looking good, So, yeah.
And Charles.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much on the same page with everyone else. I do want to say the art is particularly good. It was nice to see Priscilla Tramontano and Joanna LaFuente back on the book for the first story. And I'm not familiar with Trish Forstner, but her art in the second story was good as well. And Luis Antonio Delgado was doing colors there. Yeah, I mean, the first story I thought was a nice, team up with the ponies and the Seekers and Starscream being super arrogant. That's always fun. And then having his glory snatched away by is it Rainbow Dash, I guess, in the end was cute.
Well, really, it was Thundercracker that stole the glory and gave it to Rainbow Dash.
And the second story, I mean, you took the two Western characters and put them in a Western. That's fine. It's interesting that they had Wild Wheel just because that's a new character from Cyberverse. So it's interesting to put that into the comic with since he's not really a well-known Transformer and is a very recent character. But and I also like you having Quick Strike here as just a random character that's a threat under I guess another of the hypnotized bots and ponies. So but Quick Strike, another Western character that fits the theme. So Nice little Beast Wars reference there, and just another,
Skids, I was reading the wiki. Skids, the Western tie-in, was his Marvel Spotlight issue.
Oh yeah, issue 20. His friend Charlene and her Western, her little 10-gallon hat there. So so they're cute stories, and the art is good. The stories are they're not too complicated, but it's I like how the crossover just does little vignettes for each book to see what's going on. But I feel like with this crossover, they are making the tie-in more explicit now with this theme of all these bots and ponies controlled by Sombra. So you're just seeing different aspects of different characters having to deal with that on Cybertron. So I like how that ties things together, but then each story has room to breathe and tell its own little story. So yeah, it was good.
All right, well, that is our review this week.
All right, and next up is Transformers Media News.
All right, in media news this week, we've got a couple things. In the TV and streaming section we've got some Kingdom soundtrack and album details and a promotional image. The promotional image is, I think it's the image, is on an Amazon.com page, and I can't see that for some reason, because maybe I just keep getting directed to the .ca, so I don't know what this one is, if someone can tell me.
It's just the same picture as what's on TFW 2005.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it does have it has a list of the tracks of the song, so
that's on here too. Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, it's a neat image. It's got some recognizable characters on it, plus an arc crashing to the earth, which we figured is happening. The track list you can see on that link as well, and just be careful looking through them. If you don't like spoilers, there are something in the spoilers or something in the track list that may give away some things that happen in the show. So be careful looking if you want. We got a release date or when to expect the next iteration of War for Cybertron on Netflix. So that's July 29th will be when Kingdom is released on Netflix. So be ready for that. If you've been looking forward to it, that's when it'll be out. So excited about that.
And the artwork for the album is taken from the images they released with the release date.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Scroll down. So.
All right. Moving into movie stuff. The 7th Transformers movie is getting started. So I guess there was some primary filming done in Los Angeles. They did some of that, and now the filming is moving to Montreal, which we talked about a few weeks ago on the show, and we talked about the studio that they were going to be in and all that stuff. So they are going to be shooting in Montreal for a number of weeks, and that they have announced that they have a stunt coordinator. Patrick Curtin is the stunt coordinator on the movie, and he previously worked on movies such as 300 and the TV series The Boys. So he specializes in immolation stunts. I don't know what that means.
That's burning stuff, like
fire. It tastes like burning. And the last bit of movie news for the 7th movie is that apparently it's supposed to take place in 1992. Huh. So there you go. The Bumblebee movie, the one with Haley Steinfeld, is from 1987. So this one will be a few years later, and who knows? Maybe we'll get some characters in it that appeared in the first movie. But yeah, 1992. Were you around yet, Epic?
Not yet, and I might not have even been thought of quite yet.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Depending what end of 92 we're talking about.
The 90s are now the 50s.
Yes.
Which is depressing for me.
And yeah, that's it. That's all I got for movie news.
All right, and we will finish up the show with convention news.
In convention news this week, TFCon has announced their first guest for TFCon Baltimore 2021. They are announcing that David Kaye will be there to help celebrate the 25th anniversary of Beast Wars. I'm wondering if this is going to be the start of a theme. Perhaps we'll have some other Beast Wars actors. That would be amazing. It says that he will have Q&A panels, autograph sessions, and he'll be there all weekend long. In addition to Beast Wars, he was also on Beast Machines, Armada, Energon, Cybertron, and he was Optimus Prime and animated. So he runs the gamut in terms of the fandom. So excited to have him there. For those of you that are going, hope you have a good time and get to meet him. And that is it for convention news this week.
All right, and that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks, everyone, for listening. As always, we end the show by giving a shout-out to our Masterpiece Donatreons. So thank you again to John Forex Levengood and Dinobot Maximize. You guys are awesome for contributing to the podcast at the highest level of Donatreon. So you're awesome. Epic, before we go, tell everyone where they can find your awesome work online.
Yeah, you can head on over to epicsuicide.com. That's EPYK suicide.com. And there you'll find all my links.
All right. And also just want to mention again, if you want to buy some merchandise from Transmissions, you can go to our TeePublic store. That is at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And if you want to buy anything from TeePublic, use our link and that helps out the show. So transmissionspodcast.com/shop. All right, that will do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.